contact.
The following program is for adults only. Parental guidance is suggested. In other words, we're gonna be fucking swearing and talking about fucked up shit. Get your goddamn kids away! Leave me alone!
Come try this delicious cheese. Absolutely no bad hormones in this cheese.
Hi, this is Phil Perry, and you're listening to Cult and Contempt podcast, and in a few minutes, I'm gonna titty fuck Jim Cook.
This coming Sunday marks the rise of Zombie Jesus. On the third day, he will rise again and devour the rabbit. For Zombie Jesus hungers. Happy Easter from Cult and Contempt.
This is Alana of 6 to 8 Mathematics. You're listening to Cult of Contempt podcast. So listen up, fuckers.
It's time to name the asshole of the week soon. Cult of Contempt. Cult of Contempt. Cult of Contempt. Wednesdays at 8:15.
Hello. Hey folks, it's the Cult of Contempt podcast. We're high, but just a little bit.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jim Cook, and you're not.
Really? You gonna steal that one?
I've got a weapon now. I bought this at the store.
He's got a shillelagh.
I actually have a question for the audience. Is there a difference between a shillelagh and a king?
That's a fucking shillelagh, because you can crack somebody's skull open with that fucker.
I could crack somebody's skull open with a cane too. I was gonna get the one with the 4 little feet on it for the old people.
Are you British or Irish?
Are you Michael?
I'm fucking Australian, mate.
Wow, this show's off to a riding good start.
I've only had a collective 12 hours of sleep in the last like 5 days.
Oh my god.
So I feel like I'm going. I just switch between laughter and crying during the day. Like I'll just be sitting at my desk and just start laughing, and then I'm crying, and my coworkers are looking at me like, "No, I'm laughing. I'm laughing." And then I start laughing again. It's like psychotic.
You're turning into the Joker or some shit. That's fucked up, man.
Did I ever tell you how I got these scars?
Nice.
Yeah, I do feel like the Joker. I feel like that's the movie they're making, is the backstory of my life, really.
You got a little bit of that 100-yard stare. You had some sort of weird smile when I first walked in. I was like, whoa, what's going on with
Yeah,
Paul?
right? Don't I look all fucking zoned out? I have like these like dark circles under my eyes. Those are designer bags under my eyes, honey.
You look like the kid who took off the Coke bottle glasses and you're like, can't really see that well.
And then took
how's
a
it
lot
going,
of
guys?
Coke. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So are you guys excited for the American dream being built?
Wait, is it actually being built after how many years?
I used to work in that area when I worked for MSNBC. That was right in Secaucus, so I'd always pass it, and it was a huge eyesore. It was supposed to be called Xanadu, and it was supposed to be like an indoor skiing place at one point.
Now it's just a giant mall.
And I don't know. I think Boomer Esiason had money in it. He was a quarterback for a team.
Because just what New Jersey needs, another mall. Aren't all the malls like closing up now because of Amazon? What the fuck are we building a mall there for? It's such bullshit.
The best part is that, like, what's gonna happen is that's gonna open, and I think a lot of it's either gonna bomb horribly or boom for a little while and do pretty well and like cause a lot of problems for the surrounding small businesses and shit, and then it's gonna fail because it's I don't know. It just seems
What's
like
small business? I mean, you got all the stadiums right there, right?
Yeah, but
just what Route 3 needs is more traffic.
yeah, between traffic and I don't know. Think about it. Like I don't know, the other malls maybe. Like somebody's gonna feel all of a sudden that there's this giant place where people can go and get their shit that they used to get somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like a mall. It's one stop. You go there, you get everything.
Right.
Maybe that's, you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. But some mom with her kids, like, why am I gonna go to the clothing store in town? I could go to this fucking awesome mall.
It's just, but if parking and traffic becomes a problem, where you have to park at fucking Patterson Plank Road and take a shuttle or some bullshit. Like,
if they were smart, they would fucking legalize pot and then just make it a giant pot emporium. Everybody from Manhattan would go there, spend oodles of fucking money, and they would pull this state out of some fucking debt.
The pot roller coaster instead of SpongeBob.
You can go in there, you can get high, you give them your car keys for 4 hours, they just got fucking Taco Bells and fucking roller coasters and video games from ear to ear.
That's doomed to fail.
And you just get an eighth at the fucking door,
Doomed to fail.
Pants optional. Pants optional. Then I'm in.
That would be a good time. That's what I'm talking about.
I might tell you ladies.
Murphy, are you listening? Get your ass head out of your ass and get some shit done.
I'm kind of, I'm not on board with the whole thing, just because of, like, I've seen it for a million years.
Right.
And I'm already tired of fucking hearing about it, because like you said, it's become like, oh, there's going to be indoor skiing. I don't want to fucking ski outdoors.
Yeah, exactly.
Why am I going to go to fucking Secaucus
just to catch up the audience in case the audience doesn't know what we're talking about?
Yeah, like I'm going to ski down a big tin slide.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that thing keeps rusting. Like, that thing's changed colors over the years. That's been standing there for like 20
Yeah, well, it was like, I guess fruit stripe gum originally. It was like, we supply the color for the outside of this.
Shut up.
Hence the hideous, come on. You see those colors? It was the fruit stripe gum colors for a long, long time.
You think it was actually fruit stripe gum?
Yeah, they were gonna paint it on the side. I wish a graffiti artist did that. It'd make it so much better.
Right? That would've been awesome.
So there's this giant mall outside of the Meadowlands, basically, that's changed hands in financial situations over and over and over again, and now I guess the new article is that it is finally going to be built. That's going to be a mall. And now
I think it's over.
Paul is like freaking trolling housewives on Facebook chains about it, making women cry and kill their children.
No.
I think 4 children were put into a car and then sent into a river.
No,
and they're
listen.
dead. And it's all on you, Malls. It's all on you.
They got like, you know what it is?
You got mauled. You got mauled. I'll just follow you around while you beat somebody up and go, you got mauled.
It's like a double entendre because we're talking about a mall, you got malls, there's the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's great.
And you've got mail. That was funny. Remember that?
So stupid.
You've got mail. Nah, I don't know. Like, anybody that thinks that's a good idea, I hope on the opening day they're all in there and it fucking just collapses because of all the corners they cut over the years. Because somebody's been holding that lease and trying to get rid of it. Like, yeah, fuck it. Just put the fucking aluminum fucking shit in there. Like, we don't really need real support. Like, it's gonna sink into the fucking swamps anyway. We're getting paid. We're getting the fuck out of here. I hope they're all in there, and I hope it fucking collapses on them, and they all die. I think the state will be so much better off.
32 families wiped out in northern New Jersey
32?
today.
I hope that's like 320,000 people die. I hope it's like a catastrophic.
Alright, before we go murdering
You can't
anybody.
fit that
No,
many
I'm not
people
murdering
in there.
anybody. I'm just hoping for a mega mall to collapse.
Before we
with
wish
all
the
assholes that
untimely
think it's a good
deaths
idea
of
inside.
consumers, which I'm all for because, we're running out of resources. We've got to start thinning the herd.
There's no parking spaces in New Jersey anywhere.
Yeah, none.
Yeah, like I was saying, you're going to have to park at that dumb strip club by the Blue Room and on Patterson Plank Road and take a bus there.
You're gonna get fucking hepatitis on your bus ride.
Hepatitis on your bus ride. That sounds like the opening line of a Bad Hormones.
Hepatitis on your bus ride. Nah, I don't know. It's gonna be a bad scene when it's finally built. I like that they lied to WWF and told them like, oh, it's gonna definitely be done by WrestleMania. So Vince was like, great, everyone's gonna go shopping there. And then he got to Jersey and it was still closed.
Oh god.
And between that and NJ Transit dropping the ball on like oh, we don't work past midnight until 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, right. Oh, so a lot of people got left high and
Yeah,
dry.
they stranded thousands of people at giant stadium.
Oh my god.
The problem with the Meadowlands is you go to see like a sporting event or a concert, and you have to, fight traffic, get on Route 3. I mean, the closest place to eat, what is the TikTok? So I guess having the mall near there gives you a place of commerce for after concert events. So
You think that mall's gonna be open at 11 o'clock at night?
I don't know, there might be a pub that attached to the outside that might be open for the. I don't know. It's weird though, because you know that dumb stadium where they play hockey in New Jersey and Newark.
Yeah.
Prudential. Thank you. They have like this pub like right outside, and like who did we see? We saw Tom Petty and the guy from James Gang, Joe Walsh, and I found out that he sang Funk 49, and I always loved that song, and I didn't know. And I found out while I was waiting online to get Allie a drink, and I know man is playing, and I'm fucking stuck online. I can't watch it. Anyway, so afterwards there's this pub, and then so the concert ends. These idiots that came with us left their credit card at a restaurant through scary crackhead part of Newark that they wanted us to walk back so we could get his credit card. I'm like, you're on your fucking own. So I just
McGovern's?
McGovern's a good bar.
McGovern's Tavern?
No, yeah, well, I guess, is that the one out on the outside? Well, whatever pub it was, we thought we were going to hang out there and drink while the asshole went and got his credit card that he left behind. And it was closed.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want it open for money?
They have to close that.
But you got cops everywhere at that hour directing traffic and whatnot, so it's
And do you
safe.
think they want to? Yeah. Do you think they want to be dealing with more potential drunk driving, too? I don't know. I think about it. It's Newark is fucking crazy. I used to work right. I remember when that area that was the Prudential Center was a fucking parking lot.
Right.
Because that's where we used to park our cars. And that was going to be built for so long now. It was just all parking lots. This guy had this much in a parking lot space. He wanted whatever amount of money a day. And I watched that thing become the structure that it is, and the whole town changed. They put in a lot of bars down there.
Yep.
There's
It wasn't even that mayor. He was always. I was working for News 12.
Sharp James.
Sharp James. Oh my god, that guy loved the camera.
Yeah.
I mean, I have cut so many sound bites of fucking Sharp James back in 99, 2000. Remember that plane crashed in Newark? Like the small plane, just crashed the street? I actually saw what was left of the. I mean, when you're an editor, and I was an editor on 9/11, I saw shit that I can't unsay.
Yeah.
From the wreckage that just got footage that's just buried and dead and some of it erased.
Yeah, it's weird. Footage that they played on the first day, and then it was we never played that.
Yeah.
No, there was. I saw arms. I saw shit. So Sharp James wanted to have Newark declared as a state of emergency because a plane crashed in the street, and I mean the body that fell out of it was one of those small planes, and this body fell out of the plane first, splat, and it was almost unrecognizable. But as we were looking at it, we're figuring out what it was, but
holy shit,
it was sick. I mean, we didn't have that much footage, we can't. So we had to loop the same dumb shit picture of a cop going like this and the plane wreckage, but all the other shit was and then they had the police numbers.
You couldn't play the money shot.
Couldn't play the money shot.
Everybody's dinner would have been ruined.
Yeah, I mean, oh god, because News 12, they were pussies. Oh my god. There was this exhibit in the city of this woman who was going to live in this box, and she was going to the bathroom and she wiped her ass, and I included it in the VO, and I got yelled at for that. I was like, it was tasteful. I mean, you didn't really see the poop. She just went like this and threw it away. I don't know.
That's hilarious. That would be
Fucking
great.
News 12, they were pussies.
That would be great for Vice, though.
Oh, and that guy that's the anchor, that guy Kirk, he used to be the sports guy. Biggest douchebag, at least back then. Oh my god, what a douche. Fuck you, Kurt. Fuck you.
What did he do that was so douchey?
I mean, he was just an asshole. He just yelled at everybody all the time, and like one time I was running the satellite for a live remote on the weekend. It was the first time I was doing it. I was real nervous. He was like, "Who's the crew there?" And then somebody said all our names, and he was like, "Ugh, great crew." And I was like, "Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy." Such a dick. And he was yelling about this footage that he wanted. and he was yelling in the boss's office, and I had the tape, and I was gonna hand it to him, but he was yelling, so I just put it on his desk. And he went running around looking for me. He was like, "Where's the tape?" I was like, "Put it on your desk, Kurt." "Oh, thank you."
Where's the tape?
But yeah,
where's the
weird
tape?
little, these little tape. What was that? 2.5
Oh, the 8mm?
No, wasn't it? Dude, I don't know.
Video 8s, I think they call them. What you call it? What else did you see on 9/11?
Oh God, we're gonna talk about 9/11. Wow, we've never talked about 9/11 on this show.
Well, you said you saw stuff that other people haven't seen.
I saw some arms. I saw.
So like arms were flying off or something?
No. Just after wreckage and like a pan across like wreckage, arm.
Oh, I see.
Wreckage, leg.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
Car with a dead body in it, which I think. Because I think when the building collapsed, there was tunnels underneath. There was parking lots of tunnels.
Oh yeah.
So I saw a lot of that shit. Like, it was a very surreal day. You know, I was late for work. They called my house and left a message. I got there, and I went running into the edit bay, and I was like, "Oh, what are we doing today?" And they're like, and it was dumb. It was like, we're gonna do more footage of them looking for Chandra Levy in the park. Do you guys remember Chandra Levy?
Yeah.
Senator was like screwing her and she disappeared. And that was the big story of the summer. That was also the summer of the Firestone recall and the shark attacks.
Oh yeah.
Dead news summer. Everybody thought that it was like the record high of shark attacks. It's just a slow news year. Like it was actually one of the lowest years of shark attacks.
They just reported every fucking one.
Every fucking one. And one of them, there was this really cute girl from Hawaii, like, lost her fucking arm, and a month later, she's out there surfing again. That was fucking inspiring.
Yeah.
She was really cute. She's like, yeah, whatever. And, I get there, and they're like, we don't have anything yet. You know, you can get something to eat or whatever. So I went out and smoked a cigarette, and, I come back in, and I see my boss running through the hall, my boss's boss running through the hall, and my boss's boss's boss running through the hall. I was like, uh-oh, what's going on? And then I get in the edit bay, and right there in the feed, there's a tower on fire.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there watching. What's that bird? That's not a... Lights flickered, transmission went like for a couple seconds, because I guess they had cameras there, I don't know. Or the impact of the explosion affected... You know, because they have cameras on top of some buildings and stuff, and we have direct feed to all that shit. I mean, it was MSNBC. I mean, we had the power of NBC lines, and you know, so we're like, holy fucking shit. And then, so a couple guys disappeared, went to this deli because we were at Meadowlands Parkway, and there was like a Krauser's. This guy just poured out a bag of like sodas, cigarettes, and I think there were some airplane bottles of booze being passed around. I worked 13 hours that day, just cutting. I worked about 60 hours that week. And then, I mean, it was a great time to be in news because of all the shit that followed. Like, all the, you know, it just, the Middle East got uplifted, so then, you know, Israel started giving Arafat a hard time, so we had coverage of that. The war in Iraq came, the war in Afghanistan. I was supposed to be a freelancer, only getting 20 hours, but they lifted the rule, and I was just working. But I had to work dumb hours, like 11 at night to like 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool to be like awake that early, and like, but at the same, and they had free breakfast all day, or free food all day. So I would come home at 6 in the morning, and I would have a Tupperware container with like scrambled eggs, bacon for Allie. I was like, Allie, I'm going to bed. And I left it for her, but the scrambled eggs were terrible. So fuck you, MSNBC.
You're horrible eggs.
But this is actually before Lindsay got the job there, I think. She got a job, I think during the Iraq War. She started working in archives, and we knew each other through a mutual friend, Dennis, who grew up with and is good friends with Left Hand Graham.
Nice.
From the Grapes. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, the rest of it was, and then as we were driving home. You had a shot of the fucking, well, not a shot, like you just looked to the right off Route 3 and you saw just this hole that burned for what, a month?
Yeah.
Because I would have to work acquisitions, which is where we take in all the feeds and put them on tape and log them and hand them off to archives, and then we had a constant camera on ground zero. It smoldered for at least a month and a half.
Yeah.
At least minimum, maybe 2 months. It was still fucking smoking, or at least that's what it seemed like to me. But
so with your eye behind the scenes a little bit, do you think that there's any possibility it could have been an inside job?
I thought it was odd when that sub building just all of a sudden collapsed. What was it? It was building 3, I guess they called it, or whatever. I thought it was weird. I hear there's documentaries where they're saying like there's no reason that building should have exploded. The thing I was suspicious of was that third plane that got sent off track, United 93.
That's the one that landed.
And the only footage we had of that was just a smoldering pile in a field of grass. And there were rumors, and there was stuff on the MP wire that F-14s were launched. I was convinced for a long time that Bush had F-14 shoot that plane down. I was convinced, but there's no evidence. Like, somebody had to seen that.
Anybody I've ever talked to that was that close to that's absolutely what happened.
Oh, really?
That I've talked to, yeah.
They said the F-14 shot it down?
Not F-14s, but yeah, that plane was taken down.
Had to be.
Yeah.
Because it was heading right for D.C., right?
Yeah,
it was heading for the
White House.
Capitol, yeah. So, I mean, and then they kind of and it was glossed over, and we barely ever talked about it. All those people were canonized in TV. Yeah. There was a TV movie and a Hollywood movie, I think.
Yeah.
I saw the TV movie. I thought it was pretty, I mean, and then I've heard some of the phone footage from, the phone calls from some of those people, and there was this one guy who was like, "Let's go, buddy." And there were these two guys, they were the ones that were like hammering down. And a lot of the stuff in the movie was consistent with what we were reporting at the time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And there was and the one thing that was really unusual was like Fox, NBC, CBS, and ABC were everybody shared footage freely.
Yeah.
Everybody did. And then it was, I don't know, like most of my experience with TV news, I just thought it was like a bunch of people yelling at each other and running around like we're doing brain surgery. We're not fucking doing brain surgery, and nobody in charge has any business doing brain surgery. But I felt like we were doing a fucking public service for the first time during that.
Yeah.
Telling people where to go, how to get out of the city.
Right.
I mean,
we never dealt with anything of that magnitude like that.
Right. Right.
Like an attack like that.
But like, it was crazy. I don't know if it was an inside job, but I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I was convinced for a long time that the government shot that plane down, and then they just made heroes out of the people on the plane. But there is evidence that they did try to take back the plane.
Right.
And there were, because the terrorists were kind of dumb, like they let them talk on their phone.
You know where they got their tickets for the plane? The terrorists?
Priceline?
William Patterson. They just went in and used the computer labs.
Yeah.
You probably went to school with them. Muhammad Atta?
I don't remember a Muhammad
I
Ali.
don't know. I don't think they really went to the school.
No, but I mean, you had to have a student ID to get access to those labs, though.
Those guys got fucking plane lessons. I'm sure they could get student IDs.
I mean,
Do you really think anyone? I never needed a student ID to get into a lab.
You don't get a student ID.
they were really strict about it in those days because they spent
It
all
was
the money
different.
on the swipe cards.
And you guys were using like punch cards and shit too, right? You had to feed that computer that was the size of the whole room.
No, I was not in William Patterson in 1969.
First, that computer IBM built that was the size of 10 washing machines.
The fucking paper with the wheels,
Yeah.
the fucking little holes came out.
Green and white lines.
You
The Simpsons still joke about that. Like,
Dot matrix printing.
I'm building a love computer.
Do you think there's any chance that the government knew that these assholes were going to do it and ignored it as a reason to go to war in the Middle East and try to take some oil and fucking minerals?
It wasn't even just about. I heard it was more than oil. I heard there was evidence that it was about bandwidth and all these big like telecom companies wanting to bring Wi-Fi to the Middle East, and it's just like
What?
money. Yeah, it was about bandwidth. That's what one I don't know if it was a conspiracy theorist, but so like
I've never heard that before.
really, that was kind of a. I don't know. There was a lot of like because in those days everybody just all of a sudden started watching the 24-hour news networks because there was something to watch.
Yeah. And
then I would listen to Air America, and then I'd flip over to whatever the right wing channel was I think it was 8770 at the time. But then they jumped around because the thing is with Hannity and Rush, their audience is dying. They're all getting older and older and older. Yeah. These guys could possibly be irrelevant soon.
I hope so.
Unless, Hannity gets named the communications czar under, the Fuhrer's new regime.
I think it's different. I think politics is different. And I think that the people that really get attention now, like, I don't know, like, I look at a guy like Ben Shapiro. Like, that's usually the guy. I don't think he's going to be the next Sean Hannity or anything like that. But I think more people pay attention to him and what he says than these fucking pundits. I think he's he seems like a more centrist, like logical mind in a way. But he's also.
I'm all for that.
Do you know? Are you familiar with Ben Shapiro? Because you.
I'm gonna look him up.
Look him up. Yeah, he's like kind of right wing, but he's very much like common sense in a way. Okay. He did kind of get into it with a tranny, but like, I don't know. It's tough to say.
What's his name? Ben Shapiro?
Shapiro, yeah.
Is he related to the lawyer that defended OJ?
No, I don't think so.
Wasn't there a Shapiro that defended OJ?
Yeah, Rick Shapiro.
Rick Shapiro.
A lot of people the last.
I think there's a comic named Rick Shapiro too.
Yeah, I'm sure they're all related. It's one of the.
Yeah, Santos isn't related to the Menendez brothers. I asked him twice.
I thought he was one of the Menendez brothers. Nah.
Just that name. Santos, it sounds like he should be like
the fresh maker,
Colombian drug dealer or something.
Oh yeah,
and he's like the nicest guy.
You brought him to my house after some event. I guess Els had graduated or something, and we were all gathered around the fire pit. And I had to ask him what his name was like 4 times. I had never met a Santos before. I never did. And
it looks like Willy Willy.
No, we're not gonna. Let's not. I don't want to bust on Santos. You
look like Greg Proup's older brother.
I've been told that before. Hey everybody, let's play World's Worst.
You kind of have a Jerry Springer thing sometimes.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
I think that.
Or Buddy Holly.
I can look at Springer.
Little Buddy Holly too.
Well, all right. So I'll tell the story. And this all ties together. All right. So 6-8 Mathematics on the 27th will be performing with Graveyard Squall. There's a scene vet named Kim Chaos. She's been around Pongy. Paul's played shows with her. Everybody's played with her. And they're coming back to the Clash Bar. And she owns her own studio. And that was a really pathetic attempt at breaking a can on your head, dude.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she did Allie and Alana's hair and it looked great, so I was like, fuck it. I now have a personal photographer that I've been utilizing for various projects. I decided to get my hair done. I spent more money on my hair than I did on my medication this month. Thanks, insurance. Thanks, Obama. No, but it was worth it because I got an education on the type of hair. Because what I did was there's this new feature on Google where you can collect pictures called a collection. So I went through and pulled up all these hairstyles that inspired me. And I went with a lot of I wanted like an anime kind of look. And I was thinking I was going to dye my hair blue, but they wanted to bleach it and I'm kind of against that. This is blonde enough. But they're like, well, the color won't be as vivid as you want if you don't get it bleached. And then, I was already $90 in the bag, so I was like, I don't know, coloring, I'm probably going to spend almost $2 bills, so forget it. I don't have the money for that right now. I'll just do it myself at some point, but because I really want to be blue. But then I started getting freaked out because I was like, oh, what if because the haircut we went with because of my style hair, I wanted haircuts that are for people with thicker hair, and I have a cowlick here, but they taught me how to get volume and how to style it, and I can do this one either way. I can do it up or down. But she cut it in a way where it has fringes like anime. If I use the right product, I could look like the top of Nikki Sixx's head with the Jags. But if you take Nikki Sixx's long hair, pull that off, and just have the top, that's basically an anime haircut. So it's kind of cool. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Is it? How do you say it? Is it?
I could do the coolest swoop haircut ever. The only haircut anybody ever needs.
The devil lied.
Nice.
I turned into a motion.
The Jerry face. You gotta make the Jerry only face.
This is Jerry Only, and you're listening to 89.5 WSOU.
He does own it, doesn't he? Those little bones come out of his neck.
This is Jerry Only from the Misfits.
Wow, he did SOU?
I used to always do like all the bumps and shit.
Yeah, a lot of guys
That's
do.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just send the radio stations.
They're coming back. The Misfits. They booked another show.
Where?
Really?
Chi-Town, I think, again.
No shit.
Or Detroit. I don't
Why,
know.
why Chicago?
Middle of the country.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think the last one's gonna be the Garden.
The Garden.
That's a good venue.
But the one thing I wanted to say about your hair is, like, if you're going to Supercuts and you're not, those people want you in and out. You're paying them $20.
The old
If
in
you-
out, in out.
The ultra violence.
Thank you, Alex and Rennie. I hated that fucking movie. We'll talk about that later. Anyway.
He was artistic.
But if you pay, you get an education on how to care for your hair, how to style your hair, and you'll get a professional cut.
You were the gayest straight man I've ever met.
It's called metrosexual, Phil. Get with the program. Get with the fucking program. No, I don't want to be a person that doesn't care about their appearance.
And
There are a lot of people there were some people in my inner circle who didn't give two shits about their appearance. And it's kind of a drag if, you like hypothetically perform with them or something.
Yeah, it's like a rock and roll thing. Like, I was always 50-50 on that, too.
But part of your character was the pajama thing.
But
It
I
became like a
just
running
owned
gag.
it. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, like I owned it as a comedy thing, but if I was gonna play like a, in the Bad Hormones, like I would never be up there in pajama pants. I would wear like stupid shit, like a dumb t-shirt or like whatever, latex pants. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not any better than the pajamas.
Oh, I've been looking at photos of you all day. It's not as gay as it sounds, folks. But now I needed the photo for the bit. I was like, what? I was really looking through his Facebook photos, hoping, and I said this to my wife today at dinner. I was like, I was really hoping to find a picture of him holding money. It's just like, why would he be holding money? I was like, if I did find one in Paul's page, would you be surprised? And she went, no. So, cause
No, I never do that. Like,
no, but you're unpredictable. You would do it for a bit though. See, you're like me.
no, you'd find a picture of me holding a baby for a bit, more than you'd find me holding money. Like holding a baby, just like, get it away. Like, hey, take a picture of me pretending to not like your kid.
I just want to see a series of those photos. That has to happen.
We should make a coffee table book.
If you have a baby and would like to make some money, call Cult of Contempt Podcast.
If you don't mind your child being held in disgust.
Yeah, in loveless disgust.
But like, I don't know. I don't want to be an old person that doesn't fucking care. And I don't know. I'm getting it's gonna be summertime, so I'm kind of over the hat, and I kind of wanted a pompadour thing for August because I'm seeing the Stray Cats 40th anniversary.
Nice.
So the Lee Rocker show got canceled. That's how this whole haircut thing fell into place. I don't know. Allie and I speculated that they didn't sell enough tickets.
Probably.
Because if it was a reason, his website or his social media pages would tell us. Like one time, the New York Dolls had to cancel the Stone Pony because the roof caved in.
Oh, right.
Or,
Yeah.
I don't know if it caved in or it was leaking or something fucked up happened.
There was something.
We drove down and found out the hard way. But I don't know, shit like that happens. But, the New York Dolls, informed us. There was nothing said. It was just the ticket broker that contacted us and said the show was canceled. So maybe there wasn't enough interest. I don't know. He's not like a brand. But the funny thing is if you listen to his solo records, he's a great freaking rockabilly bass player. He's got as good of a range as Brian Setzer. Not as good of a voice, but he can get up there. He does some like of the harder Elvis songs like My Baby Left Me and stuff like that.
Cool.
I don't know. The rockabilly thing, you're either in it or you're not. I don't think there's any middle ground on rockabilly. Some people absolutely hate it. Some people like it. It never really makes
What about
anybody any money.
Psychobilly?
I don't. Psychobilly was just a bunch of punks took over the rockabilly thing, and Brian Setzer has a cornier solo record, and he has a song called "Really Rockabilly," and he talks about it, he's like, I just did this for fun, and now everybody's got tattoos on their neck, and they're all mean.
Yeah.
And that was like not Setzer's scene, like, and any of those psychobilly guys should be kissing his ass, because not only did he save, the genre, he saved the company Gretsch, like. Gretsch found new life because he was selling guitars. He's got his own signature models of Gretsch's, the hollow bodies. That's the Ant and Ali have Gretsch's. They just don't have hollow bodies. But
Billy used to have one.
Who did?
Billy had one for the Bad Hormones.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, we recorded some stuff early on with it.
Gretsch's have a great sound, and they have this device for the audience of Phil called the Bigsby, and it makes a sound and. And he used to use it for disaster stuff. He placed it really well on some of the recordings. But the thing is, it knocks the guitar out of tune.
Right.
So you have to retune.
Well, it's not supposed to.
But it does.
Yeah.
And some of the cheaper Gretches seem to be
I don't think
clunky and glitchy.
I don't think they're as well made anymore. I think like that happens with guitars. Like you'll get like a couple of years where it's like, oh, that's the worst year to buy, say like a Telecaster or something. Like they just fucked it up somehow. Mm-hmm. And then like once they realize like, then in like 5-6 more years it'll be good, like Squier. Nobody wanted Squier shit in the 90s.
Right. That was the Mexican knockoff Gibson Les Paul, right?
Yeah, and now it's like not. It's like a half respected brand. I mean, like they make a better guitar now than they did 10 years ago. I think. I don't know if they're not doing it in Indonesia anymore or what makes it any better, but
in the 90s everybody was getting an Ibanez. That's what I remember.
Ibanez, that was the shit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I hate them. When I formed the Atom Beat with my buddy Dan, he had an Ibanez, and I was like, why do we have a metal guitar and a fucking, pop punk, kind of rockabilly-esque band? And we had this guy with an Ibanez. I don't know, that's like a metal guitar. No.
I don't know, my acoustic has an Ibanez, but it's not for playing metal. But I mean, but that 80s ones. Yeah. They were known. It was like stuff. Jackson, like that's the same kind of thing. Like they were like metal guitars back then.
But
remember the Flying V?
Yeah,
I had a Flying V.
That was Fender, right? Fender had the Flying V.
I had a Flying V that was I think an ESP or an LTD. It was metal as fuck. It was the Dave Mustaine one.
Nice.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, it is.
I sold it to this kid for like a couple of months because I was like, this thing. I played it on stage a couple of times, and there's like a couple videos, but it was like about that big, like just this monster thing, and it was huge, and it was like unwieldy. Like the case was like almost 6 feet tall. Like it was like it didn't fit in the car. It was like a pain in the ass.
Nice. Where there's a will, there's a way. I had a fucking CRX, and I fit an entire drum set in it, and CRX had no back seat. It was a 2-seater, like little what they used to call back in the. They called it a race motor. It was a Honda.
Oh yeah.
When the races.
Anymore.
Yeah, they don't call it that anymore.
No, I was thinking about that today. The amount of guitars that I've had come and go, like.
What is your favorite? Are you a Telecaster, Stratocaster, Gibson? Are you a Les Paul?
I got the Junior Special is my favorite guitar. That's Johnny Thunder's guitar.
Okay.
Nice.
And then I'll take this one as a close second. Ow. The Les Paul.
Nice.
Studio. Yeah.
The Les Paul mold.
Looks nice, man.
Thanks.
Where do you guys stand on Dave Mustaine? Half the people in like the metal, like old school metal world say he's like a genius that like put metal on a whole new trajectory. The others say he's like an egotistical maniac that drives people away from him.
Why can't he be both?
Yeah, I'm gonna go both on that. Because look, like if you're good at something, you can be an asshole. All right, so case in point. So I'm doing
Some art from it doesn't matter.
I'm doing a demo, and there's this doofy guy that's always on a cart, and he tells these dumb off-color jokes. He pissed me off one day because like I'm like trying to talk to people and sell things, and he's telling this joke that like black people use plastic wrap as birth control, and I was like, dude, you gotta calm that shit down, man.
What?
And I was like,
That's
what the-"
horrible.
And he hasn't told an off-color joke. I was like, Jamie, that kind of stuff can get me in trouble. And he's like, all right. So,
asshole.
no, but I mean, like, when my mom was sick a couple years ago and I was taking donations to sell at, like, the charity garage sale, he gave me a hi-hat cymbal. Like, complete, you know, so he donated something.
He probably fucking stole it.
Yeah. No, he thrifts and goes to stores. He's one of the, I don't know. He lives on a fixed income, but he goes to, like, those, like, senior centers and gets that, like, $2.95 steak dinner in the afternoon, or roast beef dinner, you know, just covered in gravy over bread, like the old school way. But, so he comes over and he's, like, talking about how Tiger Woods won, and everybody's like, "Oh, Tiger, he's the greatest. I'm so glad he's back." And blah blah blah. I was like, "All right, so we're gonna gloss over the womenizing, the cheap tipping, and the physical and mental abuse to his wife. We're just gonna gloss over that."
Yeah, we do it with John Lennon. Why not?
And I said that, and I was like, "I guess this is a Lennon kiss." We did it with Lennon. Chuck Berry was a fucking weirdo, taking pictures of people in the
People shitting
bathroom.
and pissing and shit.
Yeah.
I want to see girls shit.
Do you take the good with the bad? I don't know.
You heard like Stallone.
Maybelline, why can't you just poo? Oh, Maybelline.
Was this Stallone? Yeah, he would lay under glass tables and girls shit on them.
That's what Opie and Anthony said, but that's an urban legend. There was
you
a
know
lot
who
of...
that was Danny Kaye from old school TV.
Really?
I think, yeah. Danny Thomas? Danny Kaye, I forget. Gilbert Gottfried talks about it.
Oh, really?
Who was that douchebag rapper that punched the crap out of Frusciante or Nelly Furtado and then got a Grammy the next year? Chris Brown? I don't know.
Probably, yeah. He beat a lot of women.
Yeah, like they literally. I mean, her eye was like, wow, like her his. I don't know. Maybe he hit her with his dick. I don't know, but it was a big ass black eye. I'm like, how could you do that to that beautiful woman? And then they give the guy a fucking Grammy, but. You know, they wouldn't let Meatloaf perform in the early 90s because there were too many white men performing that year. But they'll give this abusive asshole.
Who the fuck wants to watch Meatloaf?
Yeah, really.
I would do anything for Meatloaf.
Oh, God.
No.
Dude, have you seen his stage show recently? It's so creepy. What he does now? Oh my God. Well,
he's lost it.
Yeah, and he's about.
I'm kindred with him because he's a fat singer and I'm a fat singer.
Well, here's what let me tell you what to never do as a fat singer. When you're Meatloaf's age and of Meatloaf's size, and you're not a fat singer compared to Meatloaf. Meatloaf is like fucking.
Yeah.
All right, let me correct you. His name is Robert Paulson.
Yeah. Okay.
He's like Jabba the Hutt.
So Loaf. Loaf. He on his stage show now. He has a chick that comes up and sings the girl parts. And,
Yeah.
He shouldn't really be flirting with her anymore because she's like 27 and it looks fucking really creepy and weird.
But he's getting into character for the part of the
It doesn't matter. They should have somebody else playing that character and Meatloaf just singing the fucking part. Because
you love me forever?
like that's what what's the guy?
Do I just have really bad taste in music? Because like I bring up
I
stuff
like
here.
Meatloaf. I actually like Meatloaf's and Jim Steinman, like all the shit they were
Right,
doing.
Jim Steinman was a great writer. It's just the only guy I hits with.
I like to shit on Meatloaf now. I like to shit on anything now because most of the time it's like past its prime. It's like, yeah, he had this, and this that was good, but now look at him, Joe Piscopo. He owns a fucking gym. But I want to go to it and meet him, you know, hang out with Joe Piscopo.
Right?
Like you were in my favorite movie with Treat Williams.
Oh God, the reanimated movie? What the hell was that stupid movie?
Dead Cops or something like that.
Dead Heat.
Dead Heat. Yeah.
Dead Heat.
There's just like, okay, for those in the audience who haven't seen it, Dead Heat's about reanimating dead cells, and at one point, an entire butcher shop comes back to life in glorious 1980s practical effects.
But you know what the real treat is? Treat Williams. I always said any movie with Treat Williams is always a treat.
Was it Treat Williams the dad in that dumb Marky Mark movie where he's fingering the girl on the roller coaster?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
To White Horses, to a girl singing that fucking Rolling Stones song. Yeah, Fear. Oh,
Yeah, that movie's
crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
That's one of the best, I think, crazy 90s movies. Like, there was always, like that. There was, like, The Good Son. Like, they had their share of, like, movies that are just like, wow, this is really
off, and probably wouldn't get greenlit now.
What was that? Apt
Pupil?
Apt Pupil, yeah.
Yeah, with that Nadsy.
Yeah.
So speaking of movies, the one thing I wanted to touch on before we go, because we're doing a lean and mean show today. How we doing on time, Paul?
Oh, we got 15 minutes.
All right. So Bohemian Rhapsody did really well, and now they're rolling out Adam Lambert to do tours. So Queen's going to make a lot of money based on
Fuck
that.
Adam Lambert.
Right.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of, I don't know. He doesn't have the machismo that Freddie had, but
Now.
anyway. Now that The Dirt did really well, there's reports that Motley Crue is selling albums up the fucking yin yang. The music industry is going to salivate. We are going to get so many more rock bios. And there's already that Her Smell, which may or may not be based on Courtney Love with the chick from The Handmaid's Tale. I told you about that trailer because I knew you were going to fucking hate it. I tell you about things because I know you're going to hate them. But anyway, so I think that now that all the 40-somethings Gen X are now middle age, we're going to go to the movies. We want to see rock star stories. So, hence, A Star is Born, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Dirt. I think there's an Elton John biopic coming out.
Hey man, there's a Leonard Skinner one coming out about the plane crash where a bunch of their members died, and there was like the drummer and the rest of the members were like in a lawsuit, and they said that he could say his side. So I don't know if the movie's going to be his side of the plane crash.
Is it like a TV Netflix movie, or is it going to be like
no,
a big
I think it's going to be a legit movie, man.
Okay. Well, just because a movie's on Netflix doesn't mean it's legit. It's
True.
theatrical release is, I think, what the term should be. Can we all get an agreement on that? We're having another production meeting.
No, this is fine.
You know what? It's tough to say because there's shit that if they put it in the movies, nobody would fucking go watch it anyway. Whether it's, it's the people that don't go to the movies, whether it's there's so much other shit. Like, I think a lot of people just don't want to fucking go to the movie theater, frankly. I think it's easier if I know, okay, October 26th, I can watch the new Child's Play movie at home on Netflix. If it was in the theater, yeah, I would go see it. But it's not. And if it was, me going to see it is not going to
Wait, the new
make it...
Child's Play is going to be on Netflix? Not?
No, the remake's going to be in the theater. But I'm talking about, like, the fucking movies, the two they put that went direct to Netflix, basically, for all intents and purposes. Like, my thing is, like, I'm not going to go to the fucking movies to see mostly anything these days, first off. But if it was a Child's Play movie, I would go.
Right.
Would everybody else go? No. It's not gonna be fruitful for them to put a lot of stuff in the movies. I don't think The Dirt would have done well in the movies. I think The Dirt was a good movie. Like, it's fun to put on. Like, you're in your house. If they put it in the movies, they had no star in it really. Like Machine Gun Kelly, I guess, or whatever his name is. But
He did a great job.
yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It wouldn't have been big in the movies. It was bigger here because it's more people subscribe to Netflix. They don't have to leave their house. That's why it made such a huge reaction. So I think we're going to see more movies that are
Direct.
probably...
I just think biopics in general are going to be made. Some are probably going to be big pictures, some are going to be direct.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them, because it's cheaper to make them, and I don't know what Netflix takes, but you don't have to promote the movie as much. Most of movie budgets is in the fucking promotion.
Yeah.
The posters, the ads, the trailers, paying the voiceover guy. I need work, please help. So like, I don't know. I just think if Motley Crue is selling records, it's a matter of time before Kiss finally makes their definitive bio, and Gene's gonna oversee everything. They rewrite their history like every 10 years.
I don't think you'll ever get a good Kiss biopic until they die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it would be more honest. The one I want to see, and you guys can answer this as well, I would really like to see a definitive New York Dolls story, because I think it could be a beautiful, it's set in a great backdrop, crazy New York City in the 70s, the glam movement. Each one of them has their own crazy story. I mean, David Joe was like hanging out with Bill Murray in the 70s, and like fucking Arthur Kane was a junkie most of the time. Johnny Thunders was a junkie. I don't know
Hell of
much.
a baseball player, too.
Was he?
Yeah, that's like his thing. He would like play baseball and then play guitar and then shoot heroin.
In that order, exactly. But like, all right. So if a biopic could be made, whether theatrical or Netflix, what band would you want to see a biopic made of?
I think The Clash might be interesting.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I would watch that.
I want to see the Dead Boys or the Damned.
Oh,
The Dead Boys got covered a lot in that CBGB's movie with Alan Rickman. I don't know if you've seen it. It's actually really well
I
done.
don't think I watched that.
The Misfits would be good too.
Who would play Glenn though? You'd have to find a beefy short guy.
I'm sure there's got to be a beefy short guy out there.
I would cast Travolta.
Oh my god, it's called 20 Guys.
I got something to say.
It's the same voice.
What do you think, like, best
Oh my god, Jerry.
So, you should see that CBGB's movie because they show the Dead Boys, that guy getting stabbed 17 times.
Yeah.
They show them crashing Hilly's truck because they're all fucking high. Like, there's a lot of Dead Boys in that, so that probably won't be a property bet.
I want to see The Damned.
That'd be good.
I don't know. I don't think anything really crazy ever happened to him. Or, Sisters of Mercy too. Is like, I really don't think anything that crazy happened to
But
him.
you're not curious about like a big act, like
No.
the definitive, I don't know.
I don't want to watch a
Springsteen
fucking movie
movie
about the Foo Fighters or Springsteen. No.
No.
Oh my god, if they made a Bruce Springsteen movie, it would fucking suck. It's a guy who never worked a job in his life and just sings all these songs about being blue collar. Oh, and then I got a guitar, and my parents hated me. Fuck him. I hate Bruce Springsteen.
Wait a minute. we hate him now? I
hate him. It was really shitty.
We were keeping him in the closet
The way
for a
he
while.
handled the show was really shitty, and he would never come on air. He just sang a dumb song. And
then the remaining Ramones beat him up. And then we changed the name of the show, and now that's all dead.
you know, I always said he might be the boss, but he's not my fucking boss.
That's right.
The thing about Springsteen, though, is I like all his band members better than I like him.
Yeah, I would
Max
rather watch a
Weinberg was
movie
funny.
about Max Weinberg. If they made just a whack.
Little Steven, you can make a great movie out of him.
For
What's your
sure.
favorite and least favorite biopic?
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Okay.
say.
Yeah.
I really liked The Doors. I really thought it was a good movie. Stone took a lot of liberties like he always does. One in particular was the girl we couldn't get much higher on the Ed Sullivan show. They made it seem like Jim Morrison was in the camera going, higher! If you see the real clip, he just says it.
Yeah.
He doesn't even blink. He just said, it was almost like he was stoned and he forgot he had to change it.
Yeah.
But they made it seem like that. And Stone's defense was, oh, well, that's what it was like to the camera.
Ed Sullivan.
That's Ed Sullivan's perception of it. But like,
He's trying to get it across to a different generation that's not shocked by that anymore.
Yeah, well, you kind of have to explain to the this generation why anything about the Doors would be shocking.
it was shocking, yeah.
I mean,
Because
you can see it sucks on TV and so many other things.
I remember talking to these kids, and they're like, "Oh yeah." Admittedly, they went to see the Doors with like Ian Astbury. They're like, "That was the most boring fucking thing ever." I'm like, "You're still not interested in like Ray Manzarek and that like they're still good musicians. Like
Right.
the Doors of the 21st century, they're not the Doors, but they're good.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't shit on them or call them boring. Like I don't know, but kids today, like they're all like punk kids. They're like, that was fucking stupid. Like we
there
want
was a
Maybe they'll go back to it when they're all.
Eddie Vedder did a couple tunes with them at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it wound up on a bootleg. Do you guys remember when the CDs that came from Europe and the record stores would try to charge you $30-$40 for it? It would be like 4 songs.
Yeah.
And it was like a $30 thing, and I was like, I want those too. I probably could find them now online, but I just wanted them, but I didn't want to spend $30 for a fucking import single that had, just an alternate version of Daughter as the B-side or some shit like that. But the worst biopic, what is... I kind of like watching... I guess it was corny. It's like how I felt about Swamp Thing on that other list we did. Like, I liked it because it was bad. But the Jackson 5 TV movie was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
The way Joe Jackson was always constantly beating them, and Michael Jackson just wanted to be a kid. I'm playing store, so I bought candy for 5 cents. Well, what are you selling it for? 5 cents. You're not allowed to do any business, and ha 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 ha. But he would beat the fuck out of those kids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he would just fucking crank out kids.
Yes,
no
he
birth
did
control.
flog those children mercilessly. Joe Jackson, the great child abuser.
But Billy D played Quincy Jones.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you ever, I don't know. I don't really have a there was a Beach Boys TV movie that was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And they actually had Charlie Manson in it. and like all his followers were just like in the Beach Boys like house and just stealing things, and and Dennis, whatever his name was from the Dennis Beach Boy. I don't know what their last names are. Was he a Wilson?
Dennis Rader?
Dennis.
No, that's the BTK killer. Yeah, Dennis Wilson.
Dennis Wilson. He was like, he meets Charlie, and then like he's getting a blowjob in his car, and then they just follow him to his house and never leave. They just like live there, and that was the most interesting. Stamos had something to do with that. I think he was an executive producer on that one. But then there were some of the family didn't want that movie. Yeah. He was on the Kokomo track.
Oh boy, wasn't he?
And they were on fucking Full House for an episode, if you remember that. That radio concert. What's the song?
Never forget.
I would say my favorite biopic is probably Sid and Nancy, man.
That's a good one.
And I know a lot of
Gary
people,
Oldman.
Yeah, he was great in it. I know a lot of people that watch that movie once a year, which that's a little too obsessive for me. But when I found that movie, that was a big thing, And
boring, Sydney. Boring.
What's your least favorite?
What is my least favorite? I don't know. Maybe the Buddy Holly movie.
That was a little long-winded.
Yeah.
The one with what's his name in it? Teeth.
Busey.
Gary Busey.
Oh, Gary Busey.
That's when Busey was considered a real actor.
Yeah.
And because he got nominated for that movie, he keeps getting asked back to the Oscars.
Does that have to be a music biopic that I have to pick? Or?
What's that?
Does that have to be a music biopic or just entertainment?
I was thinking like rock bios, but I don't know. Give us entertainment. Yeah, sure,
well,
show.
You already named
The
Doors. That was gonna be like probably.
The Doors.
I like that movie. Yeah.
Well, what did you like about the Doors? Did you like the psychedelic side of it?
I just
some of those
like that it kind of for as inaccurate as it was or whatever. It was just like a good it kind of told the story of what. I guess the legend of what that band is.
And that's what I thought Bohemian Rhapsody did. It's just like, Freddie's like this sort of urban legend figure that, just gets
I would say Amadeus.
Oh yeah.
Alright, that fits.
That's,
it's not a rock biopic, but it's like that's like one of the I remember watching that as a kid, like F. Murray Abraham is in it and shit.
Oh my god, I identified with Salieri, I am the king of mediocrity. I am your patron saint. That scene where they're wheeling him out at the end. I fucking love that movie. And the thing was, William Patterson phoning it in, my music appreciation credit, we actually watched that movie, and I'm like, what is this fucking lazy high school shit? I'm watching a movie in a college. It's not even a film class. And it's like, I've seen this movie 10 times, but I don't know. I answered the questions, right? Because I already knew the movie back to front. But he, the music appreciation teacher said that Salieri, chances are, was friends with Mozart. They probably.
Yeah, but
there are pictures. There allegedly was paintings of them hanging out and writing together.
Yeah.
Or whatever, because they didn't take pictures back then.
But the question is whether he murdered him or not.
Yeah, that got a little weird, but. The dude who played Mozart was great, and did he do anything after that?
I don't even know that guy's fucking name. I always thought that was the guy.
He was one of those pretty guys.
I always thought that was the guy when I was a little kid that was in Short Circuit. That's like the scientist. It's like, I programmed the robots and he just wants to make them kill. He's like a real nervous scientist nerd. But then I realized it's not that guy when I was about 20 and I watched it again.
Was it Richard Dreyfuss?
Austin Pendleton, that's who I thought it was.
Nice.
Oh my god, we made these robots! Quit now!
The one got struck by lightning! God! I don't know what my worst... You know what? My worst one is Mr. Holland's Opus.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the worst rock biography ever.
You were moved by the song at the
No, my
end?
favorite part was the gym teacher getting in trouble. Just getting pussy. Wasn't he he was like a pervert?
Yeah.
And I don't know, one guy spits on the girl's shoe. I might be confusing it with that election movie.
Yeah, you are.
But I think the gym teacher in that... No, I think the gym teacher in Mr. Holland's Opus does some fucked up shit, too.
No, he was trying to teach the football team how to dance for the Gershwin.
But was it the same actor? Was it Jay Thomas?
I think it was Jay Thomas.
I think it is Jay Thomas. I think that's why.
He was in Workin' Mindy briefly, in season 3.
He got fired from Cheers because he was like, they were asking him on the radio, like, oh yeah, you play Carla's husband? He's like, yeah, I play Carla's husband that left her. Wouldn't you, having to look at that face every day? They fired him from the fucking show, man.
Right.
They killed off his character.
He was like the ex-hockey player, I think, right?
Yeah, I think he was like her ex-husband or something like
No,
that.
that other dude was the ex-husband.
Eddie LeBeck, I think, was his name in the show.
That's funny.
And I think they killed him off, and then they got, what's his name? The guy.
The old Italian guy.
The old Italian guy.
Yeah.
The guy from Commando.
That's right, yeah.
That's what I always knew him from.
But yeah, if like to wrap this up on a bow, like you know, if people are selling records, then bands are gonna want to tell their stories. So buckle up, everybody.
I
We're
can't
gonna
wait
get
for the
biopic.
Fall Out Boy biopic.
Ah!
The Green Day biopic.
Yeah, oh god.
I'm the son of Rage and Love. It'll be called Son of Rage and Love.
I'm the fourth guy in the band that never gets acknowledged, but I'll be, you know, I play on every record, but it's a band with 3 guys. I just play guitar. That pisses me off so much.
No, he came late. He wasn't on the first.
No, I know,
He
but
wasn't on Dookie. He was.
He's been playing with the band since like Insomniac. That
Morning. Not Insomniac.
Or like 2000-ish.
Yeah.
He's been with him a long time.
The rumor was it was Billy Joe's cousin, right? And I think they were in Pinhead Gunpowder.
I thought Billy Joe's cousin was what's his name? Curtis Armstrong. Booger.
Shut up. That's
Maybe
awesome.
they're brothers.
That's awesome.
Billy Joe Armstrong and Curtis Armstrong. They look the same.
Look at this town.
Look
man.
at
I
the
can't
young
get
Curtis
those guys.
Armstrong and look at Billy Joe Armstrong. I bet Curtis Armstrong is Billy Joe Armstrong's
just
dad.
Play a guitar chord as fast as you can. If something gets in your way, turn.
I wish Booger was my dad.
We're getting the fuck out of here soon. But should we do an Inquisitor?
You want to do an Inquisitor? Oh my god, I'm not even
You don't have
prepared.
to turn him on.
It's been a while.
I'll turn him on. You know, there was a picture of the Godzilla toy that this tongue was inspired by going around the Facebook this week. And everybody's like, oh, I had one.
On the Facebook?
Yeah, I had this awesome Godzilla toy that made no sense. Like, he had wheels on his feet.
Uh-huh.
He was part of the Shogun Warriors.
Just like the real Godzilla.
Yeah, he had wheels on
really.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Oh my god, I wrote this one.
Okay.
A huge promoter asks you to put together a bill of North Jersey's best bands.
Nice.
Who would you book?
North Jersey's best bands.
4 bands. You're booking a bull. All right, let's say a huge promoter's like, let's say it was like the Seattle thing. They're like, all of a sudden, Clifton, New Jersey's now like the new hotspot, like Seattle was. It'll never happen, but let's say it is, and all these record companies are showing up to the Clash Bar, and this promoter's like, I want you
It'll
to
be
pick
the same
the best
show
4
that
bands.
I booked a couple times. It'll be 6 to 8 Mathematics, Devil in the Belfry. That other band's from New York, that chick band. Fuck, there's really only 2 bands I like. I don't know. The Sex Zombies, they're from South Jersey.
Nice.
That's all right.
They're great. Or Black Clouds, I don't know which one of them. Maybe, Dead and Buried.
Who's that? Dead and Buried, okay.
Yeah, that was a good band. That would be my 4.
All right.
You go first.
You want me? Okay. All right. I guess obviously 6 to 8. But like, I don't know. I'd throw the Schwam on there.
Okay.
I would throw Minor King in there. And
yeah.
then you know, I wouldn't even put myself in this one because quite honestly, I don't really have an original band right now anymore, and can't put a cover band on that, even though we're great. But who would be the 4th? Even Eden. No. Jersey Panic. No. Buzz Heavy. No. You see where I'm going? I need a 4th. Let's see. All right, so the Schwam, Minor King, because Minor King, those guys can play. Their drummer's freaking great. Like, she's one of the best drummers I've ever. I mean, she's like doing her hair with this hand and keeping the beat on multiple drums with the other hand. The Schwam, they have a great following. They're fun, and all they do is play. 6 to 8, you know, they're seasoned vets. But who would open?
Seasoned veterans.
I really liked. come back to me for my fourth. I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
How about the? I don't know. I can't think of a fourth. Bad hormones. I would put the bad hormones on.
Thanks, pal.
Because Paul's been doing this for years, and he ain't getting any younger.
14 years, and I just fired everybody.
Nice. Okay, I'll take bad hormones, 6 to 8, less than Jake, and the Misfits.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, but like we meant like local bands now. Like.
Okay.
Now he can get less than Jake and the Misfits. He doesn't know that many local bands.
I know
Okay,
some, but
fair enough.
not as many as you guys.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. We accept your answer.
The Santos Hendrix Experience.
Okay, no, they would be the headliner.
Santos with Jimi Hendrix's guys. Mitch Mitchell. Think on that name. We're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna molest my cane some more and go to bed.
Love your genitals, people.
It's been a pleasure.
They're not gonna love themselves.
Thank you and good night.
Love y'all. Lates.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed our presentation of Cult of Contempt podcast. If you have any questions or comments, or want to hear your band on the show, just write us at cultofcontemptpodcast@gmail.com, or check us out on Instagram or right here on Facebook. On behalf of Paul and Phil, I want to thank you for listening. We'll see you next week at 8:15. I'm Jim Cook. Transmission out.